Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And yesterday, I stopped by my best friend Tanya's place of work. She owns a kennel, and she was asking me to wait while she was dealing with some other dogs. So I was sitting in her office, and we both have the same meditation book, which is The Daily Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone. I've talked a lot about this book on my channel. I love this book. It's one of my favorite meditation books because it's really not a spiritual or religious kind of thing. It's just positivity, and it's just, I don't know, I just love it. So I'll link it below if you guys want to check it out. But I hadn't read it since I had been gone on vacation, and so I kind of just pulled it out, and I went to the date, and I read the meditation for yesterday, and I was like, this is so profound. Like, this is something that really took me a long time to learn, and it was interesting reading it at Tanya's house, because I've told this story before in my vlog. It's been quite some time, but I think it's an important story to tell. So let me read you the meditation first, and then I want to kind of explain why I think this is important. So it's called The Web of Deception. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Sir Walter Scott. It starts with just a little fib. Oh, we can't go to your party, sorry. Nothing serious, just a sore throat and a little fever. But we really don't want to spread any germs. Now we've got the evening to ourselves, and we didn't have to hurt anyone's feelings by saying no. But then the fib grows. Our friends send over some chicken soup. We get a phone call asking if we're feeling better. Someone who went to the party runs into us next week and expresses sympathy over our illness. It would have been a lot easier either to go to the party or to simply say that we preferred to stay home. Even small lies get complicated quickly. I'm better off being as honest as I can be. Well, let me tell you why this is twofold for me. Being a person in recovery, honesty is so important, okay? You know, and when you talk about certain tenets of recovery, honesty is one of the most important things. And you know, honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness are three huge issues in recovery. And a lot of us, when we get sober, when we first come in, are not the most honest people, you know, because we're trying to hide our addiction, we're trying not to hurt people around us, those kinds of things. But over time, it's almost kind of like you can't lie about stuff, if that makes sense. Like, even if somebody's like, oh, did you go do this? You can't like lie about it, or you have to immediately turn around and make amends for it, because you're like, okay, I feel really bad. You know, I said I would come to your barbecue, and then I said I had something else. I just was really tired that night. I have to make amends to you. And then people that aren't sober, if they're sober, they totally get it. But if they're not, they look at you like you're crazy, like, okay, you didn't even need to explain all that to me. But what's interesting to me about this is that years ago, like, I would, you know, ask Tanya to go do stuff, and she would say, I really don't feel like it tonight, I'm tired, but maybe next time. And it happened a lot, like where I would ask her to go to a movie, or I'd ask her to go out to dinner. And so over time, I kind of just stopped asking her, you know? And one day she said, you don't ever ask me to go do things with you guys anymore. And I said, well, to be honest with you, Tanya, like, I would ask you and you would just say no. And she said, well, not all the time I didn't. She said, you know, every probably third time I would go do it. And I said, well, that's true, yeah. And I said, but you know, I got the feeling that you didn't want to do stuff with me. She said, why would you get that feeling? And I said, I don't know. I said, because, you know, I would ask you if you wanted to go to dinner, and you'd say, I'm just really tired tonight. And she'd say, well, I was really tired. That's why I told you that. And she taught me a very valuable lesson. This is totally off the subject, but she said, you know, even if I say no, it still feels nice to be asked, because then at least I feel included. So I invite her to everything now, and I invite everybody in my life to everything that I'm going to do socially, because I understand that feeling of wanting to be asked, to be included. But we had this conversation about it, you know, and I think based on the other people that I know in my life, most people are liars on some small level, right? Like, they won't just come out and say, I'm too tired and I don't want to do it, you know? Or, I don't really feel like coming to your party, I'm sorry, but like, I don't want to be around all those people. And even in my own life, when I've had parties to go to with friends of mine that are very, very close, where I've, you know, like, trusted them enough to say, hey, I gotta be honest with you, like, I deal with a lot of social anxiety. This party is gonna be really hard for me to go to, and I'm completely transparent and honest with them. A lot of times I get back, you know, well, I don't understand. Like, are you shy? Like, you never seem that way when you're with us? Like, they challenge me on it, if that makes sense. So sometimes it would be easier just to lie, but I don't today. And the reason why is because there's always going to be a story that you're going to have to keep up with later that there's just no truth to, right? And one of the things that Tanya taught me is this. And this happened over the period of several months. So I would ask her if she wanted to do something and she'd say, no, I don't really feel like it, I'm tired. Or no, I want to stay at home with my husband tonight, or whatever the issue might be, right? So I would ask her and she'd say no. And then I'd ask her and she'd say no. And then I'd ask her and she'd say yes. And what I realized was, in those moments that I would ask her and she would say yes, I knew she really wanted to be there. I knew that that moment with me was important to her because she was choosing to be there. When other times, she, honest to God, was just too tired. And I'd rather have a friend say to me, you know, thanks for the invite to dinner, but I am exhausted. I have worked the last 3 days. Tonight's just not the night, right? Instead of making up some kind, oh, we can't do this or whatever. And I have those friends too. But what's happened to me in my life over time is that the more honest my friend group has gotten, like all of us say that now to each other. Like a week before we were getting ready to go on vacation, I had texted our friend Melissa and I said, do you guys want to go out to dinner tonight? And she's like, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. And so I texted Alex and I said, hey, I asked Melissa if they want to go out to dinner tonight. And he goes, I'm not feeling it. He's like, I just want to sit at home and watch TV. I've worked 5 days straight. I'm exhausted. And I texted her back and I said, hey, I'm really sorry to jump the gun. I said, Alex doesn't really feel like going to dinner tonight. Is that okay? And she's like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. And you know, back in the day when my social anxiety would get the best of me and I wouldn't go to things, I go to everything now because I really challenge myself to go to things because I'm not going to get over it and I'm not going to feel more comfortable doing social things if I don't push myself, and I don't want to miss out anymore on life. But back in the day, I would say to Alex, can you just tell them that I can't make it for some reason? And you know, he did it a couple times and finally he was like, you tell them. Like, you tell them that you can't come. And that was when I started trusting people enough to say to them, my social anxiety is like too hard. It's too difficult for me to come. And I do think that some of them challenging me has made it easier for me to go. Like a lot of my friends, like Melissa is a good example of this. She'll say, well, what would make it more comfortable for you? And I'll say, I need to get there first, like 20 minutes. So I'm there when everybody else shows up. And you know, I want to know that your feelings aren't going to be hurt if I choose to leave at some point. She's like, that's totally fine. You know, but we need to be honest with one another, with our friends, because those things, those small little fibs that we talk about it, I mean, whether you talk about a huge lie or a fib, it's all dishonesty. And when you live a life where you are honest about everything, you know, it is really, really hard when you're meeting somebody and they're constantly like dishonest on any kind of level with you, because what it says is, I don't know that I can trust you. You know, if you're willing to lie to me about going to dinner, what aren't you willing to lie to me about, you know? And one of the things that really has hurt me through the years, and this doesn't happen to me as much anymore, but this happened to me when I was younger. You guys know what I'm talking about. The person that waits for something better to come along. So they say to you, I don't really know what I'm doing yet. Or like, yeah, I think I might want to go to dinner, but like, I'm really kind of tired. Let me see how I feel. And then you find out that they went out to dinner with somebody else and you're like, oh, so I wasn't the best option, right? Have you ever had that happen to you? I have, and it hurts my feelings. It hurts really bad. You know, instead of that person saying, hey, I'd rather, if they had said to me, like, I'm thinking about maybe doing something with somebody else, I just haven't heard back from them yet, my feelings would still probably be hurt a little bit, but maybe not as bad as, well, you went behind my back and chose this person to do something with other than me. And, you know, I would like to sit here and act like at 45, almost 46 years old, that I'm super, you know, confident and I don't ever question those things, but I do. And friendships and people and relationships are vital to me in my life. They're very, very important. And so, you know, trust is important to me. And being able to trust somebody that they're going to tell me the truth and they're going to be honest with me is vital to my life. I cannot stand liars on any, I mean, you want to get out of my life real quick, lie to me, and I don't care what it's about. Lie to me, lie to my face, lie to me through a text, lie to me behind my back. I'm done pretty much that quick. Like when I start seeing a pattern of behavior that somebody is a liar, I'm done with them real quick, right? Because what it says to me is, if you're gonna lie to me about the small stuff, you'll definitely lie to me about the big stuff. And then what's the condition of our relationship? You don't really care. I don't really matter, right? And so I think it's interesting when you talk about it on this context of like a party or going to a dinner or something like that. And we've all done it. I mean, I've in the past even said that, like, oh, I feel like I'm getting kind of sick or whatever. When you're not getting sick at all, you just don't want to go to the damn party, you know? And maybe it would hurt somebody's feelings, and I think a lot of us do it because we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But I think in the long run, I would rather have somebody hurt my feelings a little bit and say, you know what, Peter, like, listen, thank you for the invite. I'm just not feeling up to it tonight. I'm not really in the mood. I'd rather have them hurt my feelings a little bit. Like, damn, why don't they want to come to my party? Versus me have to question whether they're lying to me, if that makes, I would rather have that. Because being able to trust a friend that's going to be honest with you, even if it hurts your feelings a little bit, I don't know, that means more to me the older that I get. You know, it's like, if there's somebody that hurts my feelings on a regular basis with honesty, like, I don't need that much honesty, you know? But I'm talking about, like, yes, you're overweight. Yes, you need to do this. I mean, I don't need that kind of friend in my face all the time. But if it's somebody that's honest with me about those things, like Tanya was, then I know when they're there and they're present with me, they want to be there. And that feeling, I cannot explain to you. It feels so fantastic to never have to question that somebody loves you that much because they choose to be with you. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.